Erica.
Thank you, sir.
Became increasingly apparent. Initially, the area coal producers used barges on the Hocking Canal, which reached Nelsonville in 1840. But the canal system could not keep up with the rapidly developing coal industry. When the Columbus and Hocking Valley Railroad reached Nelsonville in 1869, a boom came to the area. New coal production lasted until the 1930s, but the real zenith was reached in 1920 when almost 7 million tons of coal were mined in the area. At one time, Nelsonville had over 40 mines served by the railroad. Many thousands of trains traveled the very tracks you're riding on, carrying coal to a growing nation. Brick and other clay products were another important industry in the Nelsonville area from the 1870s to the 1920s. Coming up on the left side of our train shortly is the site of the Nelsonville Brick Company kilns, which were originally built in 1880. These unique beehive-style kilns used fire to transform the clay into rock-hard bricks. The remaining kilns have been restored and serve today as a reminder of the area's brick-making industry. At one time, there were over 30 brick kilns located here. Now, the Nelsonville Brick Company produced both paving bricks used for roadways and decorative bricks known as star bricks because of the star design on their tops. These bricks were widely used for sidewalks and railroad depot platforms. Some examples of these bricks are on display in our train depot. Hocking Valley Fire Clay Company was located along this road as well, but all the plant has been razed except for the office building that is now occupied by the local VFW. In the area surrounding Nelsonville, as large coal deposits were discovered. At first, the coal was shipped by wagon and then by canal, but both of these methods proved to be too slow and inefficient. Coal and clay mine owners needed a fast and expensive means of delivering their products to market, and they used their influence to bring the railroad to the area. In 1834, a bill was passed authorizing construction of a railroad. However, due to legal actions of a rival railroad in Athens, national financial crises, and the Civil War, it wasn't until June 30th, 1869 that the railroad reached Nelsonville and Athens the following summer. The first freight train from Nelsonville to Columbus was on August 17, 1869, and the first passenger train from Columbus to Athens was on July 25, 1870. The depot where you bought the ticket.
Passing one of the dumps in Athens.
East Clayton was a small company town dedicated to the production of East Clayton brick. 595. This numeric designation meant that the bridge was located 59.5 or 59 and 100 miles from the former Columbus Union Station. On the left side of our train, you'll notice the bridge once held a second track. Once across the bridge, the tracks merged into one and continued west toward Logan. Bridge 595 and the Hocking River. Just north of Lancaster in Ohio. It extended south through Nelsonville and reached Athens in 1843. Speaking of the Hocking Canal, coming up on the right side of our train in just a moment, you will see the remains of lock number 19 on the Hocking Canal. First boats traveled through this lock in 1840. There were one splitting gates at each end of the locks. These gates were hand operated and controlled the movement of the barges from one water level to another. You'll notice as we pass lock number 19 that the barges must have been quite small by today's standards. The canals were typically about 4 feet deep and 30 feet wide. You will notice as we pass lock 19 that the barges must have been quite small by today's standards. The canals were typically about 4 feet deep and 30 feet wide. There was a tow path on either side and teams of mules or horses pulled the barges along. Likely as it seems, the speed limit of the canal is only 4 miles per hour on the canal to keep the weight created by the barges from eroding the sides of the canal. Some horses and oxen were used to the canal, but for the most part it was wheelbarrow, pick, and shovel work. The workers were primarily Irish and German immigrants who worked from sun up to sundown for 30 cents a day plus their food and shelter. 4 jiggers of whiskey were routinely given each day to ward off the effects of malaria. However, it's really questionable if the whiskey had any effect on the malaria, but it certainly improved the disposition of the workers. The flood of 1873 did so much damage to the canal that section between Athens and Nelsonville had to be abandoned. The portion west of Nelsonville remained in operation. But flooding continued to do damage, and with the coming of the railroad, this section was also abandoned about 1890. 1852. In 1883, Hayden came to town and discovered the high-quality clay under the coal seams. 3 years later, he built his clay factory number 1, and soon thereafter, another factory was constructed. Peter Hayden set out not just to build a plant and kilns, but also, as was the practice of the day, to build a town for the workers. In the 1880s, the typical house here was made of wooden clapboards. But Hayden's town was truly unique. It was constructed as a shining example of the tile and gray products he manufactured. One example of his unique designs can be seen across the road once we pass the railroad cars and mill building on our right. Look across the highway for a small round building with a cone-shaped roof. This roundhouse was one of 6 built by Peter Hayden out of silo bricks and is the last one remaining. It is on the National Register of Historic Places and is still occupied as a private residence. It is said there are no square points inside the house, so parents, you can drive your kids crazy by telling them to go stand in the corner. Look on the right side of our training, we'll see a last room.
River House.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach milepost 53, we have now come to the farthest point west on our journey. We're going to pause here for our return trip to Nelsonville. Since we have an engine on both ends today, we're just going to do a quick brake test and then we'll be on our way again back to Nelsonville. So everybody hang tight and please remain on board the train at this time and do not try to get off. I repeat, remain on board. Thank you. So everybody please be on the lookout as we go through Haydenville because there could be some trouble. informed me there could be some trouble here. Oh no, what have we here? Everybody remain calm.
Stand up.
All right, let's get him. Let's get him. Look at all these on break. There, fella, we can hang on, All right, all you looking Marines, I know you got a lot of money in jewelry. Yeah, I don't want nobody holding out on me. I take false teeth, gold, women, and anything that's going here. I need to. I know you've got all that stimulus money you're holding back on. You better turn loose with some of this here gold.
Yeah, go to the robbery.
Keep on. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. All right, I appreciate it. Make sure they got souvenirs if they want any of this stuff, okay?
But there's,
Alrighty.
there's a ticket right here.
Oh, is there? You keep your ticket and a couple of them bucks there, buddy. Keep them for a souvenir, okay? Yeah, you let them have souvenirs. Matter of fact, you guys are so good here.
Oh, thank
And stick them in there. Where's the sun go?
Hey, I can eat now. Yay!
How about that? You
What do
got
I do now? You just tape it.
You guys got souvenirs?
Good
You got them. Okay, good. Yeah, make sure your kids keep some souvenir dollars and things, you know? All righty. Did I drop one? Oh, no, I got it, huh? Thank you. After it's over too, they'll let you get off and they can meet the horses and that. If you know that, yeah. Can't get rides, but you can get to meet the horses. They'll help you with that. Where are you folks from? Where's everybody? Lancaster. All right, that's where it's close. Are you? Boy, that's good. Get some of that interstate money. Yeah, we'll do pictures and everything they can get with the horses and all that. How you doing? I'm not from St. Pete. Where? St. Pete. Are you? St. Pete. Boy, that's a trip. You guys from here originally? No. No? Upstate New York. Oh, upstate. Yeah, that old guy told me you want the money back. Yeah, he's trying to be a woman. I just might go up there and tell him. Tell the old guy in the hat you want the money. Yeah, him. Did you get all them? You need money? Yeah, he's all nice. I think they invited him to help us. We had to have some more help here. I'll trade you. Thanks for the ring. That might be some important thing to do. You want your picture? I like my picture with my grandson.
mouth stuff in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the robbers have informed me that they are letting people come see their horses. So if anybody wants to get off at this time, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, I had an onboard guy there.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jeff.
help out. Glad to see you, folks.
I got 3 bags. 3 bags? Oh, shit. Thank y'all.
If you got any extra money, we'll take it. We like to rob. We're desperados. Got any extra cash? We take it.
Back in those days, Texas, they used to rob real things like this. You didn't know that? And they used to rob banks. And then there used to be sheriffs, police who used to chase them. Who used to wear the badge. Yep. It's all about the horses. Good guys, bad guys, they're all on a horse. And how do you know a good guy with a bad guy? The good guy with a star. Sheriffs, Texas, nothing. It's always about who can pull the gun the fastest. Maybe we see West.
And now